Hello, everybody. In our parsha, we have a detailed description of the dedicatory korbanot that were brought by the heads and the siyim of each of the 12 tribes. And as is famously known, every sacrifice brought by every nasi was identical. Each and every korban is described, amongst other things, with the following language. Karbano karat kesef achat, shloshim umeya mishkala, mizrak echad kesef shivim shekel b'shekel hakodesh. Amongst the sacrificial offerings of each nasi was a ke'ara, which weighed 130 shekel, and a mizrak, which weighed 70 shekel. Each of these times 12. And then in summation, the Torah describes in several psukim the total dedicatory offerings. And we are told, Me'et Nesiyei Yisrael, there were ka'arot kesef, shetem esrei, there were 12 ka'arot, mizrakei chesef shenei masar, 12 mizrakim, and kapot, etc. And then we are told each ka'ara was shloshim u'meya ha'ka'ara ha'achat kesef v'shiv'im ha'mizrak ha'echad, and the sum total, kol kesef ha'kelim, between the ka'arot and the mizrakim, were alpayim v'arba meot b'shekel hakodesh. If each nasi brought a ka'ara of 130 shekel, and a mizrak of 70 shekel for a total of 200 shekel, and there were 12 nasiim, 200 times 12, gives us a total of 2,400. This seems to be rather verbose and unnecessary. We know how to do the math ourselves, and in fact, Rashi points out that this comes to teach us that there were two accountings that were made. We see that each of the vessels brought by each of the Nesiim was identical, precisely identical in its weight. And we know this because, and hear these words, Shoklan echad echad, each one was individually weighed, and altogether the 12 ke'arot, the 12 mizrakim, were all put together, v'shoklan kulan ke'echad. This is rather strange language that you weigh them separately and you weigh them all together. What's the point of all of this? Rav Moshe Feinstein takes us away from the question of mathematics, and he really focuses on the concept of each being weighed on its own, and then taking the composite total of 12 mizrakim and 12 ke'arot, weighing them all together to get precisely the same total weight. And he lets us know that it teaches us an important ethical lesson. A person's behavior on his own, when he's not part of a group and not in the presence of a public, has to be identical, precisely identical, precisely in consonance with his behavior when he's part and parcel of the public or in front of a large group. One time a person can feel that what he does in public has to be more measured than what he might do in private. Says Rav Moshe, a person may fear that people will judge him as being a spiritual or religious show-off. And on the other hand, someone might be more careful in his public behavior than in his private behavior because he realizes people might be looking to him as an example. That's what Rav Moshe says. I think there could be other motivations as well. Sometimes people want to look frommer, more careful, more pious, more religious, spiritual, whatever you will, when they are in public. They are interested in their public reputation, but are not so careful in their private, personal behavior. And then it can work the other way as well. People want to fit in and be popular. So while they're left to their own devices, they might be perhaps more exacting in their personal deportment. But when they're part of the group, even if the group is a little lax by comparison, they want to fit in. They want to be like everybody else, and therefore might be more relaxed in their behavior. The challenge is when you weigh a person as an individual and you weigh his contribution as part of a public, the weight has to be precisely the same. Consistency, values driven, to the point that personal private behavior is exactly the same as one's conduct in public sphere. Shabbat Shalom.